The grand halls of Zeroth Prime Institute of Universal Knowledge hummed with the energy of 1,000 alien species, but none of them looked more out of place than Alex Carter. A human, scrawny and unimposing, standing at the threshold of galactic history. He wasn't just a curiosity. He was an anomaly. As Alex walked into the sprawling atrium, all eyes, or their alien equivalents, turned toward him. A shimmering being of light floated past, its aura shifting from blue to green in what Alex assumed was disdain. Nearby, a hulking insectoid with mandibles the size of butcher knives clicked its jaws and muttered something in a language that sounded like grinding metal. Humans, the insectoid said, finally switching to galactic common for the insult to land. Primitive. Fragile. Boring. The whispering spread like wildfire, bouncing off the crystalline walls of the atrium. Alex clutched the strap of his bag tighter, his knuckles whitening. They don't even know me yet, he thought, swallowing the knot of anxiety rising in his throat. The Academy, an intergalactic beacon of higher learning, was built into a mountain of obsidian glass on the planet Zeroth. It was a place where the brightest minds across the galaxy convened to study advanced physics, cultural anthropology, and even esoteric subjects like gravitonic ether manipulation. For humans who had only joined the galactic community 2 decades ago, sending a student here was a bold statement. We belong. But standing under the towering arches of alien architecture, Alex wasn't sure humanity was ready to back up that claim. Earthling, a smooth voice interrupted his thoughts. Alex turned to see a sleek, serpentine alien gliding toward him. Its scales shimmered like oil slicks under sunlight, and its golden eyes glinted with predatory amusement. I am Rizal, it said, coiling around itself in a display of dominance. What is it that humans contribute to this galaxy of brilliance? Surely your species has something remarkable to offer? Alex bristled. This wasn't the first time he'd faced skepticism about humanity's worth, but being put on the spot like this in front of so many onlookers stung. He drew a shaky breath. Well, he said, forcing a grin, we're good at improvising, surviving, and, bouncing back. Bouncing back? Rizal mocked, its forked tongue flicking out. Like some kind of primitive animal? A small group of alien students laughed, their chuckles reverberating at frequencies that made Alex's ears ache. He clenched his jaw, refusing to give them the satisfaction of seeing him falter. You want an example? Alex said, squaring his shoulders. Let me tell you about kangaroos. The word hung in the air, met with blank stares. A kangaroo? A crystalline alien finally asked, its voice chiming like glass wind chimes. They're strong, fast, and they fight with their feet, Alex explained, his confidence growing. They can knock out creatures twice their size. They've even been known to drown predators. Rizal snorted. Surely you're making this up. No such creature could exist on a backwater planet like Earth. Just then a loud crack echoed through the atrium. The transporter platform at the center of the room flickered wildly, its energy field crackling with uncontrolled power. When the light faded, a kangaroo stood on the platform, its muscular frame and sharp claws silhouetted against the glow. It tilted its head, took one look at the stunned alien crowd, and sprang forward. With a deafening thud, the kangaroo launched itself into the air, delivering a devastating kick that sent an alien bully flying across the room. Gasps echoed as Alex's classmates turned pale, their faces frozen in disbelief. Alex smirked. Yeah, like that. The kangaroo's kick sent the 8-foot-tall insectoid sprawling into a column with a thunderous crash. For a moment, the grand atrium of Zeroth Prime Institute was dead silent. Then pandemonium erupted. Contain the beast, shouted a security droid, its metallic voice cutting through the chaos as it aimed an energy net. The kangaroo, unfazed, sprang into action. With a powerful leap, it vaulted over the droid, its tail swinging like a battering ram and smashing the net launcher to pieces. Did that Earth creature just counterattack? A gelatinous alien student gurgled, its translucent body quivering in disbelief. Alex, standing in the middle of the chaos, could only gape. Yeah, that's kind of what they do. As more security droids flooded into the atrium, the kangaroo's reflexes kicked into overdrive. It bobbed, weaved, and evaded every trap with uncanny precision. Energy nets flew, harmlessly missing their mark. Stun rays ricocheted off walls as the kangaroo outmaneuvered its would-be captors. Alex's classmates scattered to avoid the chaos, their fear palpable. Rizal, now visibly shaken, hissed, "This cannot be. How does a primitive creature possess such strength?" "It's not just strong," Alex muttered, more to himself than anyone else. "It's smart." The kangaroo's movements were calculated, its piercing gaze scanning the room like a tactician sizing up its opponents. Alex couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just an ordinary animal. The situation escalated when the kangaroo locked eyes with a massive crystalline chandelier suspended above the atrium. With a single bound, it leaped onto a nearby pillar, then onto the chandelier itself, its weight causing the structure to sway precariously. "Everyone down?" Alex shouted, waving his arms. The chandelier gave way, crashing to the floor in a shower of glass and light. The droids beneath it were crushed, their mechanical limbs sparking and twitching. When the dust settled, the Kangaroo stood atop the wreckage, perfectly balanced, staring down at the remaining security forces as if daring them to make the next move. "Human," a booming voice interrupted the chaos. Headmaster Zern, a towering figure with 4 glowing eyes and robes that shimmered like starlight, descended into the atrium. "What is the meaning of this?" Alex froze. Well, funny story." The headmaster's gaze shifted to the Kangaroo, who had stopped its rampage and was now casually scratching its ear. "This creature," Zern said, his voice heavy with suspicion, "is it yours?" Alex hesitated. "It's from Earth, yeah, but I didn't bring it here. It just sort of showed up?" The headmaster's eyes narrowed, glowing brighter. "Explain, or you and this animal will face expulsion, and worse." Before Alex could respond, a soft hum filled the air. Everyone turned to see the Kangaroo's fur glowing faintly, strange symbols appearing along its muscular frame. As Alex reached out, the Kangaroo's eyes snapped to his. For a split second, a voice, not his own, echoed in his mind. "The key lies beneath. Trust no one." The glow intensified, and with a flash of light, the Kangaroo vanished, leaving Alex and the stunned crowd to grapple with the impossible. "What is that?" Zern demanded, his voice tinged with unease. Alex stepped closer, squinting at the symbols. They weren't random. They looked like writing. The bounty hunter's arrival was as loud as his reputation. The Varathian Talon, a sleek obsidian ship bristling with weaponry, descended through the atmosphere of Zereth Prime and landed with a thunderous hiss on the Academy's private docks. Its design was intimidating, a predator among the stars, and its pilot even more so. When the hatch opened, Svarn stepped out, his metallic boots clicking ominously against the stone platform. 7 feet tall, with jagged armor that pulsed faintly with energy, he surveyed the assembled Academy staff with piercing crimson eyes. His presence exuded menace, his movements calculated and cold. "I've come for the creature," Svarn announced, his voice a low growl that carried a weight of finality. "The earthling beast belongs to me." Inside the grand atrium, Alex stood surrounded by his alien classmates, the Kangaroo's sudden disappearance still fresh in their minds. The symbols etched into its fur replayed in Alex's head like a riddle he couldn't solve. "Did anyone else hear that?" he asked nervously, breaking the silence. "Hear what?" Rizal sneered, still nursing his bruised ego from earlier. Alex hesitated. How could he explain that he'd heard a voice, intelligent and commanding, in his mind? Before he could reply, the headmaster's voice boomed through the Academy's announcement system. "All students, report to your dormitories immediately. We are under temporary lockdown." Alex's heart sank. What now? As he made his way toward his dorm, flanked by curious but wary classmates, Alex couldn't ignore the feeling that something monumental was happening. The answer lay with the Kangaroo, but it was gone, and he had no idea where to start looking. That's when the docking platform's alarm blared, followed by the unmistakable sound of footsteps, heavy, deliberate, and growing louder. Alex froze as Svarn entered the hallway, flanked by 2 floating drones that scanned the area with sharp blue beams. The alien students scattered, their whispers filling the air like static. "So," Svarn said, his gaze locking onto Alex. "You're the human." Alex swallowed hard. Yeah?" Svarn approached, his towering figure casting a shadow over Alex. "Where is the creature?" Alex's instincts told him to deny everything, but something about Svarn's demeanor made lying seem like a very bad idea. I don't know," Alex stammered. "It disappeared. One moment it was there, the next it vanished," Svarn finished, his tone cold. "Typical." He leaned closer, his crimson eyes narrowing. "Do you know what that creature is, human?" Alex shook his head. "A kangaroo?" Svarn chuckled darkly, the sound devoid of humor. "No. It's a living key, a remnant of a lost race that hid secrets capable of shifting the balance of power in the galaxy. And now, thanks to your incompetence, it's loose." The words hit Alex like a thunderclap. "Okay. To what?" Before Alex could process Svarn's words, an alert blared from the bounty hunter's drones. "Target signature detected," one of them reported, projecting a holographic map. The glowing trail led deep beneath the Academy into the labyrinthine tunnels of the planet's crust. Svarn straightened, his armor humming as weapons powered up. "Stay out of my way, human. You're in over your head." Alex's curiosity overpowered his fear. "Wait, if it's that important I should help. I'm the only one who knows anything about it." Svarn hesitated, then smirked. "You'll only slow me down. Or maybe I'll get to it first," Alex shot back, surprising even himself. Svarn's smirk faded. "Bold words. Let's see if you can back them up." With that, Svarn activated his thrusters and took off toward the tunnels, leaving Alex standing alone. But Alex wasn't going to let him win, not when the Kangaroo had entrusted him with a message. Stealing his nerves, Alex turned toward the map and began his descent, unaware of the dangers waiting in the shadows below. The air in the underground chamber was thick, oppressive, and alive with an unnatural energy. Alex's eyes locked on the Kangaroo standing in the center of the room, its glowing symbols pulsating in rhythmic patterns. But it wasn't alone. The low growl that echoed through the cavern sent shivers down his spine. "I told you this wouldn't be easy," Svarn muttered, activating the energy blade on his gauntlet. Its crimson glow bathed the chamber in an eerie light. Alex swallowed hard. Easy isn't exactly Earth's specialty. As they crept further into the chamber, Alex's gaze shifted to the walls. Strange carvings etched into the stone depicted towering alien figures surrounded by celestial orbs. Beneath them were symbols identical to those glowing on the kangaroo's fur. "What is this place?" Alex whispered, his voice barely audible over the hum of the symbols. "A vault," Svarn replied, his eyes scanning for threats. "One of the last remnants of the Zynar, a race thought to have vanished over 1,000,000 cycles ago. They were masters of technology beyond comprehension. And your creature?" He gestured toward the kangaroo. "Is their legacy?" Alex stared at the carvings, the weight of Svarn's words settling over him. "So the kangaroo isn't just from Earth?" "Not entirely," Svarn said grimly. "It's a hybrid. Earth species were used as vessels, engineered to hide the Zynar's most powerful secrets. But the creature's purpose goes far beyond simple survival." That a sudden movement in the shadows snapped Alex's attention back to the chamber. From the darkness, sleek, serpentine creatures emerged. Their bodies shimmered like liquid metal, and their eyes glowed a fierce green. "Guardians," Svarn growled. "Automated sentinels designed to protect the vault's secrets. They won't let us leave alive unless we fight." The sentinels moved with alarming speed, converging on the intruders. Svarn reacted instantly, lunging forward with his energy blade. He sliced through one of the creatures, but another lashed out with a whip-like appendage, striking his armor and sending him staggering. Alex ducked behind a pillar, his heart pounding as chaos erupted around him. The kangaroo, however, didn't flinch. It leaped toward a sentinel, delivering a devastating kick that crumpled the metallic beast like paper. Alex's jaw dropped. That's definitely not normal kangaroo behavior. As the battle raged on, Alex noticed the glowing symbols on the kangaroo's fur began to shift, aligning with the carvings on the walls. The patterns seemed to create a sequence, pointing toward an alcove at the far end of the chamber. "This isn't just a vault," Alex realized. "It's a puzzle." He darted toward the alcove, dodging sentinels and collapsing debris. At the center of the alcove was a pedestal bearing a circular indentation. Without thinking, Alex shouted, "Kangaroo! Over here!" The creature turned, bounding toward him with astonishing agility. It placed its paw on the pedestal, and the symbols on its fur flared brightly, casting the room in blinding light. The sentinels froze mid-attack, their glowing eyes dimming as if deactivated. The chamber walls trembled and a holographic projection filled the space. A figure appeared, tall, robed, and unmistakably Zynar. "Greetings, Keeper," the projection said in a resonant voice. "You have unlocked the first gateway. The knowledge you seek lies ahead, but beware. Others will come for what you hold. Trust no one." Alex turned to Svarn, whose expression was unreadable. "I don't suppose you're one of those others I shouldn't trust?" Svarn smirked but didn't answer before Alex could demand more answers. The ground beneath them shook violently. A crack formed in the chamber floor, widening rapidly. "The vault is collapsing," Svarn shouted. The kangaroo leaped toward Alex, grabbing his shirt with its powerful claws just as the floor gave way. The three of them plunged into darkness, the hologram's final words echoing in Alex's mind. "The key lies ahead, but only the worthy shall claim it." Alex's head throbbed as he regained consciousness. The ground beneath him was cold and uneven, the faint smell of minerals and dust filling the air. He blinked into the darkness, trying to piece together what had just happened. The vault had collapsed, the floor had given way, and now he was somewhere deeper. A faint glow illuminated the cavern, casting long shadows on jagged walls. The kangaroo stood nearby, its glowing symbols pulsing like a heartbeat. Across from it, Svarn was on one knee, his armor scratched but intact, his sharp eyes scanning the cavern with unyielding focus. Alex groaned, sitting up. "What happened?" "We fell," Svarn said curtly, his voice tinged with irritation. "The vault was rigged to collapse once the first gateway was opened. A deterrent to keep intruders from reaching the deeper layers." Alex rubbed his temples. "Great. So what now?" Before Svarn could respond, the kangaroo let out a low growl, its eyes fixed on a tunnel at the far end of the cavern. The ground beneath their feet trembled slightly, followed by the distant sound of metal scraping against stone. "Something's coming," Alex said, his stomach twisting with unease. Svarn stood, his energy blade snapping to life with a hiss. "Stay close to the creature, human. Whatever's down here won't care about your survival." The scraping grew louder, accompanied by a rhythmic thudding. From the shadows of the tunnel emerged a hulking insect-like machine, its many legs clicking against the rocky floor. Its glowing red eyes locked onto the trio, and a low mechanical hum filled the air as it powered up. "Guardian," Svarn muttered. "A more advanced model?" Before Alex could respond, the machine lunged, its razor-sharp appendages slicing through the air. Svarn met the attack head-on, deflecting the blows with his blade, but the force of the strike sent him skidding back. The kangaroo sprang into action, bounding toward the machine with astonishing speed. With a powerful kick, it dented the machine's carapace, sending sparks flying. Alex scrambled to his feet, heart pounding as the battle unfolded. His gaze darted to the walls, where more Zynar symbols were etched, faint but visible. Something about the pattern seemed familiar, like pieces of a puzzle waiting to be solved. While Svarn and the kangaroo kept the Guardian occupied, Alex moved closer to the symbols, running his fingers along the carvings. The shapes and lines clicked into place in his mind. He realized the pattern formed a sequence, one that matched the glowing symbols on the kangaroo's fur. It's another lock, Alex shouted. I think I can open it. Do it quickly. Svarn growled, barely dodging a swipe from the guardian's bladed limb. Alex frantically traced the symbols, his hands trembling as he activated the sequence. As he completed the final mark, the wall shuddered and slid open, revealing a narrow passageway bathed in soft blue light. Go! Alex yelled, waving the kangaroo toward the opening. The creature leaped through effortlessly, and Svarn followed with a reluctant scowl. Alex dove in last, the guardian's bladed limb narrowly missing him as the wall slammed shut behind them. The passage was silent, save for their heavy breaths. Alex leaned against the wall, his chest heaving. That was close. Too close, Svarn said, his tone colder than usual. You're getting better at staying alive, human. But don't let it go to your head. Before Alex could retort, a voice echoed through the passage. It was calm, deliberate, and hauntingly familiar. You've come far, but your trials are only beginning. The voice came not from the walls, but from a figure stepping out of the shadows ahead. Alex froze, his blood running cold. It was one of his closest classmates, someone he trusted. I told you we couldn't trust anyone, Svarn muttered, raising his blade. The classmate's lips curved into a sinister smile. You should have listened. The narrow passage felt like it was closing in, the air heavy with tension. Alex's heart pounded as he stared at his classmate, Nira, the quiet and observant shapeshifter who had once shared stories about her homeworld during lunch breaks. Now, her calm demeanor was replaced by a sharp, predatory smile. Nira? Alex stammered, his voice wavering. What are you doing here? She took a slow step forward, the shadows flickering across her iridescent skin. Did you really think the Zynar's secrets would go unnoticed? The galaxy is watching, Alex. And some of us have been waiting for this opportunity for centuries. Svarn growled low in his throat, his energy blade humming with menace. You were working with them all along. Not them, Nira corrected, her eyes glinting. With me. The Zynar's weapon isn't just a relic, it's power. Unlimited power. And now, thanks to your little earth creature, the key is finally within my reach. The kangaroo growled, stepping between Nira and Alex. Its glowing symbols flared brighter, casting the passage in a warm golden light. The intensity made Nira flinch, her form flickering as though struggling to maintain its solidity. Svarn advanced, his blade raised. You'll regret underestimating us. Nira smirked. Try me. The air crackled as she shifted, her body elongating into a serpent-like form. Sharp tendrils lashed out, striking at Svarn and Alex. The bounty hunter dodged and retaliated with precise slashes of his blade, while Alex scrambled backward, barely avoiding the strikes. The kangaroo, however, launched itself into the fray. It leaped onto Nira's coiled body, its powerful legs striking with precision. The glowing symbols on its fur intensified, and with each impact, Nira let out a screech of pain, her form destabilizing. Alex's mind raced. The Zynar's hologram had mentioned trials, and this was clearly one of them. But the glowing symbols on the kangaroo's fur hinted at something more. He looked around the chamber, his eyes landing on an ancient console embedded in the wall. Keep her busy? Alex shouted as he darted toward the console. His fingers flew over the interface, deciphering the alien script. Lines of text and symbols scrolled past, and he quickly realized the console controlled the final gateway. Nira noticed his actions and screeched. Stop him. Her tendrils shot toward Alex, but the kangaroo intercepted them, taking a hit that sent it skidding across the floor. Undeterred, it returned to the fight, its glowing symbols now pulsing in sync with the console. Alex worked faster, his breath coming in short gasps. Almost there, just a little more. The console emitted a deep hum and the chamber began to shake. A central pedestal rose from the ground, its surface engraved with more Zynar symbols. At its peak was a crystalline sphere, glowing faintly. Nira lunged toward the pedestal, but Svarn blocked her path, delivering a decisive strike that forced her to retreat. The kangaroo bounded forward and placed its paw on the sphere. Light erupted from the pedestal, engulfing the chamber. Alex shielded his eyes as a holographic figure appeared, towering and serene. It was another Zynar projection, its voice resonating with authority. The key has chosen its keeper. The weapon is not destruction but restoration. Use it wisely. The light faded and the sphere disappeared, leaving behind a faintly glowing mark on the kangaroo's fur. Nira, weakened and defeated, collapsed, her form shifting back to its original state. Alex turned to Svarn, who stood silently, his blade lowered. What now? Alex asked. Svarn glanced at the kangaroo and then at Alex. The galaxy will come for you. Be ready? The bounty hunter walked away, his silhouette disappearing into the shadows. Alex knelt beside the kangaroo, its golden glow now calm and steady. Looks like you're stuck with me, he murmured, scratching its ear. The kangaroo gave a soft grunt, its eyes gleaming with an intelligence that reassured him. As Alex and his unlikely companion ascended from the depths of the academy, he couldn't help but wonder what the future held. The galaxy was vast, full of danger and mystery, but one thing was certain, he was no longer just a human out of place. He was part of something much bigger. And together they would be ready for whatever came next.